on these bottom lane matchups now. You know, the bottom lane matchups have enabled jungle a lot. Inspired has played off there, pushing bottom lanes multiple times to go for invades and to make plays. And so that has really been a facilitator for, you know, for their victories.
And we were kind of just talking about it. I mean, Game 2 obviously was a stomp. Game 1 was very, very close. But Game 2, it's kind of like compositionally, once you get behind his Jarvan Andy, it's very, very hard to come back because if your engages don't have enough damage behind them, you're never really going to win. So I feel like Inspired has been getting the better of Blaber, and Blaber really needs to be locked in this next game. Even in Game 1, they had that re-engage of the Gromp where he got killed. Game 2, he had the flag and drag onto the Bard and flashed out, went back in when Victor still had flash, got killed. That gave a lead to Inspired, and I just don't think you can afford to give Inspired an early lead and not expect this man to slam it home.
I mean, it's what you brought up that we saw earlier when we had the graphic in the middle of the game. Despite the fact that in their head-to-head, these two junglers have similar stats. Inspired is 7-1 against Blaber in best-of-5s because he has those clutch moments, whereas Blaber has these stumbling points. And if C9 want to reverse sweep it here, I'm in 100% agreement. Blaber has got to be locked in. Bans are already over here in the first wave, as Lee Sin, Alistar, and Seraphine are banned out by LYON. C9 going to remove the Caitlyn, the Lulu, and the Nico. But that means this 100% presence, what is that, almost 80% win rate champion in the Orianna is available and locked in for LYON.
Cassio is also up, though, which is another super high prio mid lane because 5 bans have been spent on the bottom lane. The bottom lane war zone there. So, you know, we very well could have the APA bringing back the Cassiopeia into the Orianna matchup because, as you're saying, Flowers, these are two of the prime-time mid laners, and if all the focus on bans are in the bottom lane, that's exactly what we're going to get.
That is crazy, bro. We got Big G in the house with the wild
Let's
sign
hear some
there.
big barks.
Yeah, we better hear it if it gets locked
if
in.
they pick Nasus, he better be on the desk.
He better be.
At the end of the day, at the end of the game. Even if
I'll
we're
give
done
him my
after this
microphone.
One, yeah, there you go. Just pass him the headset.
He's been a good boy, too. He listened to his doctor.
Whoa. You can't just be throwing that out like that, brother.
All right.
All right, well, Cassio is, of course, going to be locked in. Ezreal's going to come out this time around. I just want to say for Cassio, that's not something that people associate as much with APA now, but when he first came in, that was one of the champions people always talked about for him, and it is still his 3rd most played all time behind the Ziggs and Talia, and he has a 69% win rate, so it's his highest win rate of all of the champions within, you know, his top 10 or so. He probably has some random champion with 100%, but you know, very adept on the champ.
Okay, and we will see C9 lock in that Ezreal. I was talking to Kobe a little bit about it, like between the games. I was pretty surprised to see them go with the Jhin last game versus pairing the Ezreal with the Karma, which seems like a much more common pairing. But this time around, Zven will be piloting that more safe AD carry. Over on the other side, Berserker's going to go ahead and lock in a Misfortune here, nice and early.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the bans, right? There's Alistar ban, Seraphine ban, Lulu ban, Nico ban. 4 of the major supports are already gone. So we're looking at engaged supports, which, you know, is something that Vulcan is very, very good at. And with the Alistar banned out, the Rell rises in priority because that is one of those kind of denial picks for it.
And with Misfortune, you have to have setup champions that keep people in the bullet time. Without that, this champion just goes ha 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 and does no damage and dies.
Can you repeat that?
No, I'm not going to repeat that. However, you have Orianna and Rell who both lock people down in the bullet time.
Some of our fans might have been AFK and missed that.
Some of our fans have definitely clipped that, so you can send that to us.
We don't have to worry about that. What we have to worry about...
a soundboard for Flowers.
No, I'm worried about it.
No, Misfortune has a lot of setup. That's the important thing. That's what we're talking about.
So does the Shockwave. This is one of those wombo combos, right? You know, Flash, Magnet Storm, Shockwave, Bullet Time, everything going in there. Jack hoping his team can turn it around. I think everyone here wanted to see a few more games at the very least as well.
They need to pull out their old meme, the dark magic of congratulating LYON on their series victory.
Oh,
no way Cloud9 comes back from a 0-2, right?
GG, well played.
See if you can get the reverse sweep, one of the classic memes. But here we go. Okay, speaking of engaged supports, love it. The Rakan there for Vulcan, the quick delivery. That is one that can get back to a Misfortune and interrupt the Misfortune's gameplay. So we'll see if that is going to be effective. And then the ban of the Trundle does make me think, all right, Thanatos. Thanatos might be back on tank duty. If you're banning out the Trundle ahead of time, you want a front line. You don't want those stats to get stolen. And you're also thinking, hey, Xin Zhao is up, and Xin Zhao is going to be prowl for jungle because Trundle's kind of annoying for him to deal with too.
Yeah, which does make me wonder, if LYON would be banning out the Xin, if they're going to say, no, I don't actually want you to have that, because we are getting further into Fearless here, so the pools are getting limited a bit. And the meta has been AD junglers for a long time. When I think of Trundle, I also think of Mundo. Mundo jungle can be quite strong. And it is one of those champions that you do not want to be picking into that Trundle. Olaf ban is kind of interesting here, too. Ever since we saw Contracts have that monster game, I've been wondering who else is going to bring it out. And I had been kind of expecting that Blaber might do it, because Blaber, you remember back in the day, Olaf was his champ.
Yep. It was one of those champs alongside the Maokai that you just immediately thought of when you thought of Blaber. But we will see Trundle and Olaf out there.
Doggy dog.
Okay, there is still multiple dogs left in the game.
You need to pick the dog to overcome the dog.
But now the one dog is already gone. We still could have dog versus dog, Nasus versus Warwick if we really want to go
dog action.
Completely.
Okay,
Bro, I'm not. You guys are getting. What do you mean, you guys? That is not a plural. I did not say that. I just said there are 2 dogs left to pick. Okay, we've got Yorick.
It's the influence of Griffin.
we got Yorick banned away now, and the Xin Zhao is locked in by C9.
Yeah. Okay. So we do see it. And what is the response going to be from Mr. Inspired this time around? Because Xin definitely, it's one of the jungle champs that doesn't have escapes, and so it can look to punish again.
Yeah, for Dhokla, it's probably, it's either going to be the Jayce or the Gnar. Jayce, Gnar, Rumble are the 3 that you really like to play Yorick into, so since they banned out the Yorick, you're expecting it to be one of those 3 matchups that they are protecting for. And it is going to be the Jayce here for Dhokla, so getting a bit more of a lane bully, but of course Thanatos is on a counter pick here this time around. I wonder if he would take a page out of Dhokla's book. Last time we saw LYON, he actually did play the Malphite into it. It's a matchup that I actually quite like, and there are some low mobility carries.
Oh, this is so good.
This could be flex.
It's actually so good too. I mean, it could be flex, could be jungle Jayce, but counter strike is really good versus Xin. So jungle Jax is still good as a counter pick into Xin, but they aren't going to actually lock it in. But it definitely still is something you need to keep in mind.
I want Malphite, man. Malphite goes so hard.
You got it.
Yeah, okay.
You got it. Insta-lock.
To me, I just feel like if you're not picking Malphite here, you are trolling. This pick is really good in the 1v1 against Jayce. You can go Comet, since the Comet buff is actually quite strong. And the other carries are MF and Orianna. No mobility built in, is just the flash that they have to rely on. So I feel like this is actually a great comp here. You're looking at Malphite plus Xin Zhao plus Rakan flying in. You have carries that have a lot of agency here in the Cassio and the Ezreal. So I really like what they have built up.
100% agree there, because it should be hard for Misfortune to ever get a really good ult with a lot of flanking possibilities there. Ezreal as well as a lot of mobility. So does look pretty good for the Cloud9 hopeful, I feel like, out of... oh, we're going to stick with the Sejuani top, though. By the way, Sejuani, because of this Malphite lock-in, they're going to go with Dhokla AP Sejuani top.
Cool.
It is something in solo queue that's been quite effective. And so they do the flex that has been dangled out there in front of us. Now we're actually going to get it, and Inspired's going to bring back that jungle Jayce.
I'm really interested to see what build he goes for in top, because I know there was also a Sejuani one trick that was doing all support items. He was going Vandal Pipes Rush for stacking his passive faster, and then just going pure tank support items. But of course, AP could be pretty effective against that Malphite, and being able to actually flex that Jayce to jungle, where it had been popular for a while earlier this year.
Yeah.
And dodging that matchup.
And so we did actually get one play way back in the EWC qualifiers in North America where Photon did it. And he did have the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, but they did lose the game for his Sejuani top, and that is the only Sejuani top this year. And
it is Grasp with TP, so he's not playing Ignite, so I am kind of thinking it might be tank, whether it's going to be standard tank or, whether it's going to be support items like Vandal Pipes and that style remains to be seen. But I do think this is a pretty cool flex. To be honest, though, if I'm playing Malphite, it's not like I'm really that worried about the Sejuani. You're not blasting the Jayce anyway. You're kind of just answering it and slowly whittling him down, and then you can threaten it all in. And you're going to be able to farm just fine, I feel like, against the Sejuani. And, should be still happy to play this compositionally into everything that LYON has.
Yeah, just maybe would be a bit happier if you had the Jayce for your lane.
But it's not like a Vladimir or Ryze or some crazy thing got, whipped out, and now you're going to get smoked by it.
Yeah, if they would initially have drafted something like Vladimir to be the jungler, but that's neither here nor there. Right now, we've got Raz standing by for an interview with LYON coach Rainover.
I love that we get to have a chance to chat with you after this draft. You get the Malphite pick, and then you guys respond by swapping the Sejuani top. Can you talk me through the thought process and the swap for Sejuani?
I mean, obviously at the beginning we didn't plan it, but like the moment we see the Malphite champion, I think it was pretty good timing for us to swap. So we did it, and then I mean there is like upside and downside, right? Of like top is pretty happy, but our mid jungle synergy is not like too good. But we do have the champion Rell and Sejuani at the end with the team fight. I think our comp makes sense, so we end up going for it.
Yeah, I love it. And just talk to me about, you guys are on match point. Any message that you told the team, because it seems like you guys always have Cloud9's name when it comes to important playoff matches.
I mean, I think game 1 we were in a pretty good spot, but we were pretty rushed on our decision making. So we just make sure the team, we just don't rush, just play patient. And then game 2 we did play patient. I think it was more of like C9 making a lot of like desperate plays, and we just like pretty much had an easy game. So same thing this game. We do have pretty good range as well. We do have pretty good scaling, so we just have to chill a little bit and then just play our win well.
And over anything from C9's composition that you're worried about, and something that you kind of want to look out for if you guys do want to end up taking this victory?
I mean, it's just like their comp. They do have Cassiopeia for early game. He has pretty good matchup into Orianna. Alice only early game, so early game, like even Xin Zhao is pretty strong early game. So as long as the early game is fine, we should be good.
All right, sweet. Thank you. Appreciate it. And we're going to send this one straight back to the casters.
Yeah, I mean, Thanatos is actually doing a really good job in the lane early. He got like almost an entire wave advantage on CS on Dhokla as he pushed it and then got the bounce back. And he only backed off because he knew Inspired was pathing up towards him. He knows enemy jungle pressure is going to be desynced as his jungler is pathing the opposite way. So Thanatos plays the matchup really well, and it is going to end up with a CS lead, plus avoiding the possible any enemy jungler intervention. So good early stuff from the Malphite, even with the little swap.
Meanwhile, over in mid lane, checking in on this Orianna versus Cassiopeia trade, since both of these champions do often find themselves banned away. Everything is pretty par for the course. Rainover did say the synergy between the Orianna and the Jayce isn't that great, so that is something that they considered one of the trade-offs for having to make that last-second swap. The nice part is, though, you do still have an AD jungler alongside 2 solo laners. Although Sejuani is a tank mostly, she still does magic damage with her abilities, so I feel like you can still have some decent combo potential there, at least in terms of your opponents not being able to itemize utterly effectively against you. Dhokla slowing Thanatos down a little bit here, but honestly, Thanatos is undeterred. He is not minding this lane or this champion swap at all.
Yeah, it looked like Dhokla queued forward there, but it missed, so it allowed Thanatos to chase down and actually, you know, get a really good trade, because when you use that Q aggressively, normally you're trying to hit them, do a little bump, put some damage down, and then immediately back it off, but it is difficult to have that extended trade here into the Malphite, and is able to punish him. And this is, once again, that 2026 series results here for Cloud9. Only wins except the one time they played against LYON in the best of 5.
Yeah, and critically, as you can see right here, thank you very much, Kobe, for the circles. They've beaten LYON 2 out of the 3 times they've played them in a series. It's just the one time that they lost was the one time they could have punched their ticket to international competition a couple months back at First Stand. It really hurts to see all of these wins over and over and over again, and the one loss being that one that's really just such a backbreaker.
Well, so far, the game's starting out really well for them. Thanatos doing well on the top side. Dragon priority secured for them, so they can start stacking here with the early mountain being picked up by Blaber. And off the bottom lane going pretty smoothly for them as well.
Yep, double tier stacking. Cloud9 going to be pretty happy. But you've also heard from Rainover. Rainover was saying he just wants them to play slow. He felt like they had the scaling advantage, like their team fight is going to be really, really powerful. And so I think both teams going to be feeling very comfortable, and it's going to come down to how can you perform in the team fights? Is Cloud9 able to clutch up in these big moments? Because that is where it feels like LYON has gotten the best of them in these skirmishes that gave them the early lead in Game 2. When you think back to Game 1, a lot of it was about objective steals and secures from Inspired that really kind of flipped the script.
Yeah, and meanwhile, look at all the vision. They've got this thing lit up down here for the dragon stacking for the bottom side, and it also allows, you know, possible roaming ganks. When we do get finally these engaged supports matchups on bottom side, if you can win bottom side and just get the push for your team, then it unlocks Vulcan or Isles to go for mid lane ganks, especially Cassio and Orianna. Yeah, they're super highly prized picks right now. Great mages for mid lane. but they're also influenced very heavily by ganks because they don't have a lot of mobility themselves. So,
okay, crash down comes in from Isles. Wants to dive onto this C9 duo as Zven takes a lot of damage here. Berserker trying to get enough to kill him off. Barrier from the C9 AD carry as the double up's not going to find the angle and Zven stays alive.
Yeah, not great there for C9 as Isles was just kind of winning that support battle. He was sidestepping the Gleaming Quill and then being able to land a double Shattering Strike and just kind of winning out in this little duel they were having in the brushes, set up for Berserker to get that advantage. And as we all know, with MF versus any sort of PokeChamp, your only real opportunity to get a lead on MF is early, because once she has BT, she doesn't really care about anything that you are doing.
Okay, topside though, already Glacial Prison committed from Dhokla, and Inspired is here, but it's still first blood over to Thanatos. Dhokla overplaying his hand there, not recognizing his limits, so Thanatos hits first, even though it's a 1-for-1.
yeah, Dhokla wanted to start it really early, as we saw Inspired running down the lane, trying to get there. But Thanatos like just takes the ult, is like, fine, I'm gonna have my damage to burst as well afterwards. Neither of them use their flashes. It does mean Inspired gets to push on the tower as well for turret plate money here for the Jayce. And Jayce's clear is still very, very good, even after the adjustments.
Yeah, it is really good. And I mean, he got the cleanup kill, and he got a plate on top, like you're mentioning. So 500 gold lead for the Jayce. Here is this 1v1, though, as Thanatos has been winning out, had a much better buy. Dhokla at this point was just on the Ruby Crystal plus the tier. Jayce comes up. He's trying to bait for this, but does overplay his hand. Needed to play it a little bit more slowly, and they could have maybe got that clean 1-for-0. But at the end of the day, I still think you're reasonably happy with that because all the gold went to Inspired.
And Inspired now also going to pick up all of the grubs. So that earlier Drake that was taken by C9, now answered by LYON, grabbing an objective of their own as the bullet time going to bring Zven down to about 100 HP. The full channel! Good lord, man. Berserker just steps up and shoots him down. Flash auto double up. Blink and you'll miss it. Both bullets find Zven, and he even wastes the flash in his death. That's a big mistake from the C980 carry.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, once the auto and the Q is in the air and those once the bullets are flying, you have to be able to flash into Fog of War to be able to break something. And you already know you are a dead man walking. It's kind of one of those moments though where you want it back. You're like, I knew that was gonna happen. But because he also flashes there for Zven, that is quite rough.
I mean, the wasted flash is bad, but the bigger mistake is even just walking up. You're at 5% HP after the bullet time, right? Like, he tanked that whole thing. You have to know he can look for that sort of a play, and that is a big misstep there from Zven, who has received quite a bit of criticism throughout the year for those types of mistakes that have cost him.
I mean, even when we were listening to the lounge at the start of the day, when you're looking at the all-pro team placements, C9, I believe it was, had 2 first-team all-pros, 2 third-team all-pros, and then Zven, who was not on any of the all-pro. Yeah. He has been one of the biggest points of criticism for this team throughout Spring Split so far, and mistakes like that certainly aren't going to stop those conversations.
And notably, the guy on the other side, Berserker, guess what team he was on? First team all-pro, and by a significant margin. And when you're at that low, you just cannot walk up. Like, that is just the Q probably kills you. I don't even know if he needed the auto, but he gets both. And bullet to the back, and you got some time to think about it.
I don't know. No, this is never a play, I guess, anyway.
Yeah, I feel like he really wanted that one back.
Yeah, I mean, he shifted aggressively before that, which is what Berserker, was trying to capitalize on, obviously, with the ult. And maybe based on those comms, that almost sounds like he thought he was baiting for something.
Yeah, because I had been assuming that it's one of those things where, like, you kind of know there's a high chance of this happening, but when he said it's not a play, it sounds like they had been talking previously about
bait this and I'll go in,
a bigger play
something
of some sort.
Yeah.
Blaber and Vulcan stepping forward here, trying to maintain control over the bottom side river. Yeah, Inspired with that big purchase. Blaber also has the Sundered Sky completed on the Xin Zhao. And C9 has control of the bot side river for now. Should be able to secure this crab without much contest. Isles is going to move forward a little bit here, but C9 also has APA in the area.
I mean, Inspired hurts. He's already nearly 800 gold ahead of Blaber at this point. Has the early Cycle Sword, is playing first strike, and those shock blasts are punishing.
I guess, too, okay, as we watch the dragon,
You know, got to keep an eye on this one. It doesn't look like LYON want to fight for it. They're just kind of going to walk away. Blaber has enough control with his teammates nearby to guarantee C9 take the second Drake.
So with the comms, I'm looking back at the play, and it actually is a really big setup play where they had the roam from APA in the process, and Blaber was already in Tribrush. So they literally had 2 other people roaming. Plus, you know, they had Vulcan basically moved into position to dive. But because Berserker does the good job of, you know, comboing E and ult to clear the wave and chunk Zven all the way down, that cuts the whole play off. So it was a communicated play with 4 members of Cloud9 kind of committing time. The funny little Easter egg there, too, is that right when he did die, APA gave a thumbs up and as he was roaming down on the Cassio. So, yeah, they... unfortunate for them because they had kind of coordinated with multiple members.
Man, this gold lead quietly, I mean, the game is only 2-1 so far, but it's a 2,000 gold lead, 12.5 minutes in for LYON, with 2/3 of it being on the AD carry. APA, nice sidestep there, getting away from the Glacial Prison. Now the counterattack coming in from Vulcan. Dhokla's going to be the target, but C9, they don't have enough damage to burn through a Sejuani. Very nice moves, though, from APA, sidestepping the Sejuani ult, flashing away from the Orianna ult, keeps himself safe.
It is well played, but at the end of the day, still a good move from LYON because you're trading 2 ults for the flash. The flash is going to be a much longer cooldown, so now they can go for a rinse and repeat. They didn't commit any flashes to get that, so now you come back with a flash engage from Isles or anything of that sort, and APA could be in a lot of trouble, and we're kind of back in what has felt like a bit of a familiar position so far in this series. Thanatos the only one with a gold lead for Cloud9, but he's on a tank, and I think Malphite is a fantastic pick in this game. I love it. But you do need the damage behind you, and Zven in particular is falling very far behind after that solo kill from Berserker. And Berserker is going to be running mid lane right now because now he has the BT and just ignore everything Ezreal does.
Yeah, I've got the BT, the Cull fully stacked to just give him that extra economic boost. C9 walk towards the brush, and Inspired is immediately ready to greet them with that accelerated shock blast plus the first strike. Blaber trying to make sure that he can still potentially contest for this crab, although LYON are stepping up to try to force C9 further back. Berserker does have the ultimate. Inspired lands another hit onto the C9 jungler. Blaber down to half HP. Isles goes in, jumps into the crash down, trying to keep everybody locked up, but Isles just walks into his own demise. They're going to give the kill over to Zven. Easy peasy there for C9, punishing LYON.
Yeah, it looked like Isles had lost track of the fact that APA was moving up because Saint is down here on the bot side, so he goes for the engage, maybe thinking it's even numbers, and then clearly everyone else from LYON was just calling it off because no one even pretended to follow up on that. They all just immediately backed off. Saint does get a plate, deny a little bit of CS there. Maybe a melee or 2 died as APA was on that roam.
Yeah, really smart from APA because it's a cannon wave. As you're pointing out, he doesn't lose very much at all. So really good team play there from Cloud9 in a game where there is so much pressure on them. You know, they're down 0-2. They just had their previous play they tried to call on bottom side turn around on them with 4 people going and it actually resulting in a death on their part. That is a moment that in a series you could see, oh, vibes could get really bad, but that's a very nice one from Cloud9 to bounce back and keep their hopes alive. They do still have the Dragons, even though the gold is definitely going LYON's favor, and LYON looking like they have had the upper hand for the majority of this series. The hopes there still alive. That little light flowers for Cloud9 is still alive in this game.
Well, they're going to have to turn up the intensity on that one if they want to come back. A reverse sweep now mandatory if C9 wants to win this series and lock in their spot at MSI and the finals just a week from today. As the Rift Herald will now be started up. Vulcan, Blaber, and APA all in the area. Isles trying to clear out some vision. Inspired is also hanging around nearby. Serpent's Fang, fully completed second item here for Inspired, going immediately for that more of a tech pick there in the itemization versus part of the usual core build, as the Herald is already down to 2,000 HP. And despite the fact that LYON was nearby, they don't fully commit to a challenge here. So C9 is going to take that one.
Yeah, C9 doing a good job. They have been winning the objective war thus far. They have already gotten the first 2 dragons. Now they're able to grab this here on the top side. And third dragon spawning in just over 25 seconds. So if C9 can get down there and threaten that, that would be 3 dragons early in a Hextech Soul game. That will put them in a great spot if they can get it. So I think that LYON for sure will want to contest. And it's going to make it a lot about the setup. And you can see LYON members are there first. Isles moving in with Inspired trying to control vision.
Berserker, meanwhile, has to be the one to answer the potential C9 push in the mid lane. Again, another accelerated shock blast from Inspired. Has been finding good accuracy with these so far, but C9 is already starting up the Drake. Both top laners contesting one another down here in the bottom part of the map. As LYON steps forward, Saint isn't here yet. Another nice accelerated shock blast coming in from Inspired. Thanatos walks over, Dhokla's ready to TP. C9 full sends it, Inspired's about to die. Beautiful kill coming in as C9 already find the enemy jungler. They're gonna secure themselves the soul. Oh! It's a massive bullet time! Everybody is caught in the MF ulti! And Berserker guns them down! C9, it looked like they had it, but they just couldn't beat the combo. Remember what I said in draft? You hold him still, and misfortune blows him away.
It's Berserker's time now. He just mows him down. And after Cloud9 had just deleted Inspired, you know, as Inspired was looking for a Smite Steal, Blaber was looking to kill Inspired. They did that. However, it cost them, again, a lot of gold. So the Dragons, so close. A similar story to last time around, but also a similar gold lead for LYON again.
And it's so reminiscent of the fight against Nefiri where they kill off the Fury at the Dragon. They spend so much on it. Great, you got him. But look where Berserker is. Look where Saint is. They are not involved in this engage. They are positioned well. They're spread enough. You full send everything onto Inspired, and Saint and Berserker are full HP. So when they go back, hit down, the re-engage here from Isles, plus the Magnet Storm, the bullet time, everything holding them in place. They just get destroyed.
Yeah, Dhokla even hit the ultimate there to grab the extra kill, and so they got three. They got three with it. Everyone felt that.
Yup, that's the best feeling as a jungler. When they full send and they kill you, it's just like, yeah, nice team fight. Good stuff there from LYON, recovering in what was otherwise going to be a very, very good situation for C9 because they established themselves at Soul Point. But now I feel like we're once again back in this situation where it's no longer a good thing for you to get the Dragon Soul. It's now mandatory with these LYON gold leads.
Yeah, I mean, the gold leads are huge. Saint, Berserker, Inspired, familiar position for them, way ahead once again of their C9 counterparts here. C9 do have really good playmaking. It is absolutely possible for them to win out here. As you can see that defensive TP from Saint. But it's definitely problematic. If you full send it on Inspired, you're ignoring the threats that are Saint and Berserker. This is not a one-threat comp. You can't spend everything on him and expect to win.
And I had been looking at the gold in inventory before that team fight. Berserker, during that team fight, he already, before all the kills, had 1,700 gold in inventory. Like, had not purchased. That's over a BF Sword's worth of gold. So he went back. He's got a collector plus extra swords on top of that already. So he already melted 3 people without spending the money. Now it truly is going to execute people with the collector too.
I mean, I'm pretty sure his inventory before that fight was 2 swords, the bow, the cull, and the bloodthirster. So it's just collector piled on top of it now. This misfortune is so strong. 4,500 gold lead here for LYON. Vulcan still waiting in this brush. Saint uses his Chovy belt to get away. Vulcan wants to full send the engage, but Isles is right there to protect his mid laner. It doesn't turn into anything.
Yeah, that engage was not very inspiring, shall we say.
No.
Vulcan pops the quickness, kind of jogs on in there, but by the time he gets to Saint, you know, nothing is going to happen. It's very clear. Isles had read the play, was there behind him, and Saint was not in a dangerous spot either. He wasn't even close to the front.
Yeah, it felt like Saint read the play too.
Yeah.
He was super ready with his protobelt activation. So
it's like a read-along, you know? They're both same time.
All right, Berserker now. He took look at all the damage that he took that he no longer took. The Bloodthirster is just so nasty.
Like rewrite history, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I took the damage, but I didn't take it.
But no, I didn't.
Yeah, look at that. He's right back to full HP. He's got his shield on top of it. This misfortune is strong, but now the pressure is on. This is the make or break moment for C9 in this game, in this series. Less than 60 seconds until the Dragon Soul spawns. They are 3-0 in Drakes. They need this Hex Soul to stay in it, and I want to see what the setup looks like. APA at about half HP, maybe trying to bait Dhokla in here. There's your Glacial Prison, doesn't find the slithery snake.
Trading the Petrifying Gaze as well, though. So that's a jungle pet.
Blaber's still in there, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, but Dhokla just walks up. He says, all right, Void Grub, kill the turret. The Void Grub isn't strong enough to kill the turret. Dhokla walked up. He might just die. They're sending everything at him. C9 certainly going to take the kill on Dhokla here. As meanwhile, over in the mid lane, it's LYON grabbing the tier 1 turret and pushing towards tier 2.
I feel like they kind of rushed the kill, maybe because they're worried about this push mid, but I feel like if you delayed that more, it would be an easier secure on the Dragon. That being said, there's still going to be about 25 seconds after this Dragon spawns that Dhokla will be dead. He will have teleport, though, to join, and they spent quite a few tools.
They have Malphite and Rakan ultimates ready, though, so the engage for C9 is here.
APA goes in, immediately followed up by Thanatos. They want to try to full commit on a Berserker, but they don't have the damage to kill him off. APA is going to die first instead. Thanatos staying alive for now. C9 looking to put a little bit more pressure on a Berserker. Blaber wants to dive underneath the turret, but he can't quite find it. C9! They wanted to send, they couldn't quite get what they wanted. They at least kill Inspired. So Blaber's the only one with Smite alive on the map.
Exactly. What they want is the soul, the Dragon soul. They make their picks. They're trying to burn it down. The teleport is coming.
Berserker's got his lifesteal though, and he's stepping forward. Here comes Dhokla. C9 looking to burn down the Drake. Glacial Prison comes in. Vulcan jumps into the back line. Berserker's going to be interrupted here in the bullet time. Dhokla wants a little bit more. The Hex Soul has already been secured here by C9. Berserker getting himself away for now. Blaber likely to die. Blocked up by Dhokla. Blaber just sends himself into LYON's waiting arms, and now Sane has rejoined the fight. Isles doesn't have Magnet Storm, but he still has the rest of his lockdown. Zven providing covering fire, looking to get his support away. Thanatos going to be your target now as Dhokla zones Zven off. Arctic Assault right back forward as Berserker grabs the kill over onto Thanatos. APA rejoins and prevents anything further. So C9, they will claim the soul. But what a sequence. That was all over the place.
They get the soul, but the question is how much more can LYON get? Blaber, I guess, just made the read that he couldn't get out, so just kind of goes back in and dies. And LYON are not going to try to make any sort of a rush towards Baron or anything like that just yet. They are now basing and resetting. They're moving up towards that top side to reclaim some vision here. Thanatos will not have his TP, but Cloud9 holding on here. They look for this pick, and it's a miasma to set it up. Flash, and then the miasma, so you can't flash out of it. No ability to react to that ult coming in from Thanatos, but APA is locked down so heavily by Isles and Inspired that it doesn't matter. He can't follow up on the damage.
Yeah, and then they're diving really deep, so Blaber does use his flash here. He won't have it for the escape at the Dragon. And Misfortune ultimate onto Zven while it's channeling there. He forces him a little bit back. We'll get back to live, though.
Yeah, we already got problems back live as Blaber's getting bursted low, but Inspired's the first to die. Zven with a true shot barrage takes him out. C9 still fighting, staying alive for now. A double kill. This is it! LYON may have overcommitted. C9 grabbing a couple critical kills. Berserker's still alive, though. Thanatos locked up by Dhokla. Still get a ton of damage here from the MF. Berserker still looking for the opportunity. Berserker just got 3! 4! He flashes over. He gets another one,
He wants the penta!
Can he get the penta? APA trying to get himself out of here, but Berserker and Saint are on the hunt. Berserker wrapping around from the side. APA wants the escape. It's not going to happen. Berserker continues after him. A little bit more damage is all he needs. APA running for his life. How much longer is it going to be? Berserker waiting to get his strut back. Just needs one more shot. Oh no, the timer!
It's the timer, but also the delayed death from APA means the Baron is free. He's going to be dead for so long here. And Berserker, the bullet time, the split second he used it was when it came off cooldown. He was biding his time for the ultimate to come back up. It was a couple seconds left on it, and all of these low health Cloud9 members became easy pickings. But Cloud9 still have 4 members strong here and are back on the scene, able to push LYON off the Baron.
And the Hextech Soul in the hands of an Ezreal, the poke is so annoying, so hard to deal with. Cloud9, they're not only are they going to push them off the Baron, they're going to start it up themselves because
APA has TP.
All right, C9 starting it up, but the DPS is going slowly. Berserker, still no bullet time. About 20% of the cooldown remaining on that one. Thanatos stunned up here on the front line by Dhokla. Inspired, trying to find those accelerated shock pass. APA arrives back into the fight. Same with the flash away as Vulcan is immediately stopped on the engage. Berserker goes legendary. Isles and Dhokla still frontlining here for the LYON side. Zven shifts back over the wall. Baron still DPSing C9. Blaber's dead again. A double kill for Berserker. A triple kill for Berserker. APA and Zven still alive, but the Baron belongs to LYON.
Easy come, easy go, and the Baron does get smited by Inspired. They take it back, and it's a 9,500 gold lead.
I mean, C9 are just going for these crazy risky plays. Yeah, APA did have TP, but you're starting that 4v5 in the face of LYON, who are all there, and they're getting shredded by the Baron the entire time. Hextech Soul or not, that was wildly risky. And Thanatos and Blaber are just tanking damage for free. They get knocked out, and LYON's able to stroll in, take the Baron, easy peasy. 10,000 gold lead here now at match point. And we can watch it again.
Yeah, honestly, I want to see a graph with the damage done by Baron this team fight, because it is massive. So they pull off at 7,000. Saint flashes away from Rakan right in the middle of your screen, and he gets deleted there. So they immediately deal with Vulcan. Baron is still AoEing all of Cloud9, spitting on them again, and then Berserker and Inspired can just walk in here right behind Dokes. They force all of them off again. It's Berserker picking up a bunch of kills another time, and only... Yeah, you can tell the emotions here swinging for the Cloud9 fans when they got a little hope, but it's immediately taken away.
I mean, they were tanking the Baron for so long. Then when they turned for the engage, guess who's tanking the Baron? Ezreal and Cass. They were just taking so much free damage. C9, they still have a chance here. We'll see if they can find some sort of a big play. The Edge of Night going to make it harder to engage in onto Inspired for that Malphite. Going to have to try to poke that off first. And no vision in the area for Cloud9, so as they try to force their way in, the poke could be deadly.
And LYON is going to have their Baron for another 45 seconds after the Elder spawns. So LYON will continue to maintain total control over this super buff that is less than 30 seconds away now. Blaber going to go through the... Oh, okay. I'm not sure if this is safe. I'm on the edge of my seat here a little bit, granted I'm standing up.
Yeah, Cloud9 going to try and play through bottom lane right now. Zven pushing the wave at the moment, but I don't think LYON even care about that.
Oh, Dhokla's going for the TP tech for the shield, so I think he must be trying to force an engage because he just TP'd beside himself. Now he has that fat TP shield to try to force a fight.
Exactly. They want to make sure that they can win this fight, take the Elder, and end the game right after it. Inspired, looking for those accelerated shock blasts, looking for the angle to find some poke before this starts. Blaber going to go ahead and start the aggro onto the Drake. Isles has his flash. Vulcan is all the way back at the enemy red buff, looking for the long con here to find the LYON backline. Remember that Saint has no flash, already used it in the last fight. Elder Dragon going to go ahead, reset that patience. Vulcan, control ward over the wall. Inspired, walking back, wants to try to track this guy. Vulcan going to step forward into the brush here, goes in for Saint, finds the quickness immediately on the entrance. Saint's going to be taken low, but he does not die here just yet. Blaber with Thanatos looking to dive after the enemy mid lane, but APA is about to die now too. Shutdown credit over to Blaber, but Zven has fallen. C9's gambit failed, and LYON wiped them off the rip. 5-for-1. Regular season means nothing if you can't step up when you need to. And once again, LYON shows they've got what it takes to knock C9 down. They will clean sweep them here in the upper bracket finals. They will punch their ticket to MSI, and they will earn their spot in the finals to compete for the LCS Spring Split Championship next weekend.
And Berserker with a Misfortune Masterclass drops a 14 bomb on him. 14-0. Deathless. Really big here from LYON. 3-0, taking down Cloud9 and guaranteeing their spot to represent North America at MSI.
And they'll be waiting in the grand finals to defend their championship. They won in lock-in. They're looking to repeat here again in spring. This team getting better and better. When it matters most, they step up. And Berserker had a crazy final game here. It looked like Cloud9 might have been able to take this one. They got the Hextech Soul, but even with that, LYON just outplay them in the team fights.
Berserker's Misfortune performance. This is a champion that can look like it just completely changes the game or be utterly invisible. It all depends on your placement and your timing with those ultis. And in two separate fights, once at the Dragon, once around the Baron, it's Berserker's bullet time that changes the landscape of the game. That is a clutch performance.
Gotta say, they were very flexible in draft as well. They, moved the Sejuani up towards the top. Inspired, Rainover said this was not planned. Inspired played a great game on the Jayce. Even when they hard commit and they find these engages where they kill him, they spend everything to do it. And the LYON carries make you pay. 2 first-team All-Pros carry here. And they were showing why that was. Jat going to be standing by with Dhokla for an interview.
All right, Dhokla, congratulations on the 3-0. Take me back, a couple weeks when you hear Castle signing, you're going to be competing for the spot, but now you 3-0 to qualify for MSI and also get your spot in the grand finals.
Yeah, it feels good. Shout out to my team. I think we all played well cohesively as a unit, and obviously it feels good given the situation I was in. A nice little redemption here.
What do you think happened this series to allow you guys to 3-0? Because a lot of the predictions are 3-2, 3-1, maybe some for C9, some for LYON, but you guys kind of dominated today.
Yeah, it's just C9 in playoffs, What can you do? It's just a free win. No, but I think they just look a little bit disjointed on their team fighting. I think we had better ideas of how to actually play the fights out. And last game, Berserker just 1v9, so that was, thank you, Berserker.
You had a little flex pick in the Sejuani as well.
Yeah.
How does that, what was the conversation like? Because I know you love playing Jayce, but you end up on the Sejuani this game.
Yeah, obviously Malphite's a good counter to Jayce, even though I think you can get a pretty sizable advantage in that lane. But yeah, we're like, it's probably better if we just put Sej top, just because matchup-wise, you just don't want to play that lane. And then I think that was my first Sejuani all year, so yeah, not bad. We got the win.
Awesome. As we move towards Arizona, tell me about kind of how excited you are to play in the finals and also to go on the road.
Yeah, that's pretty much the best thing you can do as a pro, just play in front of this crowd. Thank you guys for cheering us on. I had some Dhokla shout-outs here in between game 2 and 3, so I love playing at these events, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Don't know who's going to make it, though.
Any predictions? You've beaten both of these teams now that you've sent down to the lower bracket. Who's more likely to meet you in the finals, you think?
I can't imagine C9 will play like this next week. I feel like they had a poor showing, so it's hard for me to say. I'm going to give it to TL. I like Quid. Fan of Quid.
Yeah, big Quid fan. Okay, Dhokla, enjoy the win. We'll see you next week for finals. Congratulations once again. Send it back to the lounge to close out the day.